We can talk a little bit about trauma bond as well. And so I feel that trauma bond is not explained very well when psychologists talk about it. So I want to give my version of it. What happens is trauma bond usually happens when there is trauma. That's pretty obvious, right? So when a healthy individual goes through trauma and this is within a relationship, they develop a trauma bond. This relationship doesn't necessarily have to be your with their partner. It can be with parents, it can be with siblings, with anything. Generally relationships and trauma combine to form a trauma bond. So what happens is that in a relationship, if one person is on the spectrum of narcissist, has some level of narcissism, and the other person is a normal person, then as you all know, initially there is love bombing phase in this kind of a relationship where the narcissist would totally love bomb the other normal person, showing them that they are the ideal person. They are the other person, the other than narcissist, that person is the ideal person, how one should be. They would praise them a lot. They would say that they are the best person they have ever met, things like that, right? So they love bomb them. They shower them with love. They shower them with praises, with respect, with everything. And the other person is being selected for this because somehow the narcissist has sensed that even though this person is good person, that person is lacking self respect or esteem, or there's some kind of a wound inside that person from childhood, probably most likely due to the parents' negligence and parents' lack of emotional support and emotional strength being injected into the child, and therefore the child is not very has some like emotional wound where the child wants respect or wants love and wants a little bit of praise, and might have been the black sheep of the family, might not have had the kind of accomplishments which the other members might have had, and hence that that there's some kind of a wound, and narcissists sense that, and that's why they select this kind of a person to love bomb. So initially they are praised a lot, then once they are selected, and as we know that narcissists feed on misery, so once the person is selected and there's attachment has been developed because of the love bombing phase, then they start to torture the person by neglecting that person, by pushing their buttons, by doing everything that they know that would push off the other person, would make them miserable, would make them feel bad. They do everything like that, right? So in this case, this is the phase where trauma starts to happen for this person, because this is mental trauma, this is mental torture. This person has had a very normal life, except from just being not very supported in terms of emotions from parents. Other than that, most of the people have normal life. Once they grow up, they usually start to get into their mature life, and they normally don't carry it around their baggage from the past. But this thing they have not experienced before, this trauma that is being like if their parents were not narcissists but just emotionally negligent or emotionally incapable or emotionally low on capability, then they have not experienced this kind of trauma. They might have experienced this kind of trauma if their parents were narcissists. Then they have selected another narcissist and were not able to gauge from before, but it usually doesn't happen that easily compared to people who have not been with narcissists, but just parents were negligent and not mature and not wise how to raise children, right? So the trauma starts to happen, and this trauma which is happening in the relationship where this person is trying is the normal person giving love and attention and not getting anything in return from the partner who is a narcissist or high on narcissism, they are not able to understand what's happening. It is disturbing them because it's an emotional pain. It's like um, somebody is physically hurting you, because that not being reciprocated for love and affection, for respect and everything, that's that hurts mentally, that hurts the soul, it pierces the soul. And that's what the narcissist wants, because they don't have any emotions. They are kind of a on a, like narcissists and psychopaths, they are not very far away from each other, right? The thing is, they a lack of conscience and emotions are not very emotions are not felt by these people that easily. Psychopaths we keep aside, but talking about narcissists, they don't feel emotions, and they don't feel the range of emotions that a normal person feels. So what happens is, they kind of I've talked about this somewhere else, but they kind of feel they have a fragile ego, inferiority complex because of it, and their subconscious mind, to protect themselves, to make them feel, to kind of masks this to mask this lack of ability of feeling emotions, or the feeling to normal, to mask this and to rather show this as a superiority. What they do is that, in circumstances when a normal person feels happy and a narcissist is there, and they would feel missed out, feel broken because they are unable to feel happiness, so this makes them feel inferior. But in case they feel that the other person is feeling misery, is feeling pain, is feeling sadness, and probably is sad misery is there, and the person is crying, and they are not feeling anything like that, which they can at least logically conclude that it's a negative emotion, it's harming the body, and it's like it's not something they would want. That makes them feel superior, that they are not able to feel this, and this reinforces their this mask that is created by their subconscious mind pattern. Narcissism is an algorithm that is having the same pattern in every narcissist. This algorithm creates this mask, right? And that's how it works. So this superiority mask, it reinforces when the other person is in misery, because they don't feel it. So they become addicted to it, because when this thing stops, when they stop seeing the other person in misery, this mask starts to fall off, and they see themselves as broken people who cannot feel emotions, and they don't want to confront that. Their subconscious mind prevents them from feeling this, because it will put them into a deep hole which they cannot come out of. It will probably lead them to, like, very drastic situations mentally. So they protect themselves from this. They keep on reinforcing their superiority complex or superiority mask by inflicting misery all around them. In personal relationships, it's the most convenient for them to inflict misery, because they are not being seen by anyone. So when the other person is going through this trauma, they are trying to figure out what happened, because they are not psychologists. They try to when they go through this, they feel something is wrong with them, because nobody has like probably treated them like that, and they feel that maybe they are doing something wrong. So they try to find reasons, or they try to rectify themselves and do more. Probably what happens is, in this process, their whole world starts to fall apart. Their individual personality, their individual world, their hobbies, their passion, their personality, their looks, their diet, everything gets affected, and their own, as they say, their own self starts to it just deteriorates. And what happens is, because this other person becomes their center of their life, becomes everything for them, they are trying to figure out what is happening, because they have developed an attachment. And this is the reason that narcissist selected this person, because this person is capable of developing deep attachment. And once this attachment is developed, this person doesn't let go easily. It's not like this person is, because they don't understand what's happening. They have not faced such evil people in life before. If they would have understood that, they would have probably withdrawn earlier. But it's just that they haven't faced this kind of people before, so they try to figure things out, and narcissist knows that. But in this process, they lose their world. And what happens is, ultimately there is always a limit. So the other person, the empath, also reaches a limit, and they totally can no longer give. They don't even feel miserable, they become numb. And this is when narcissist stops torturing them and discards them. And this is after discard that this empath experiences the repercussions of trauma bond, because the other person had become the center of their life, and their entire world had collapsed, and they don't recognize anything, neither themselves, neither their world. They keep thinking about them, and this is the effect of the trauma bond, that